We're going back 100 years to recreate a scene that most people won't have heard of, but it's from what's considered to be the most influential book ever written about childbirth. The scene is set in about 1911, and a young Dr. Grantley Dick Reed is being called to a poor woman in a squalid bedroom in the East End of London who's in labour. And he offers chloroform to her, but she refuses and carries on without it. Now he's surprised because he's used to seeing middle-class women requesting to be knocked out with chloroform, a drug that at the time was in fashion, but later shown to be dangerous and even lethal. And this woman instead seems okay without it. The baby's born, everything's fine, and afterwards when he asks about it, she replies with a line that he'll never forget. She says, "It didn't hurt, it wasn't supposed to, was it, doctor?" And this one little line in her Cockney accent goes on to influence him and his work for the rest of his life. He noticed that the more civilised a culture tends to be, the harder it seemed for them to give birth, and he theorises what he calls the fear, tension, pain syndrome, and publishes Childbirth Without Fear in 1942. Whatever kind of birth a woman wants today, the thing we can learn from Dick Reed is the importance of women being educated about birthing hormones, and listening to their wishes at their bedside, not being stuck staring at a chart or a machine. I'm drawn to the passage in this book because it has such a cinematic visual quality that calls to me as a photographer to make it into a photo. I've chosen a room here in East of London to recreate it almost prescriptively. Visually, I'm taking strong inspiration from a painting from 1890 called The Doctor by Sir Luke Fields. There's a similar composition of 3 characters in a dark bedroom that we're going for. So this scene, combined with other visual references for how the old lady might have been dressed and what I imagine the woman might have looked like, came together to form my storyboard, a recipe for the image that we'll shoot today. And we're going to be using lights and gels to create the look of an old tungsten-lit oil painting.
These are amber key lights. You can see they're slightly frosted to give the scene this Caravaggio look. So we're going to take a variety of exposures to blow out the window, draw the ambient to the fireplace.
My name is Elena Sirena. I'm an actress model. For her, the birth is natural and it is blessing. It's a lot about attitude here.
This is Boris, prosthetic baby. We've got Sam playing the doctor, and we have Kathy playing the old lady as described in the passage. It's not clear whether she's a midwife or just a family friend, but she represents the older maternal wisdom. 3, 2, 1.
Well, eventually we've got there. Very tricky, 3 light sources. It's very hot working up here, not the best conditions.
Dick Reed's book, Childbirth Without Fear, was the first book that I ever read on this topic before I ever got pregnant, when I first decided there's got to be some special, secret, built-in way to get through labour, and this triggered a whole string of buying books on Amazon. Dick Reed is just one of many great childbirth figureheads going against the grain, trying to put nature before science, or at least on a par with science. It's his fascination with her and the work he goes on to do for generations to come. Part of the reason I've made it is also because we've got much further to go. We have a crisis here in the UK at the moment stopping women from having an independent midwife, or even from choosing who attends their birth. That goes against everything that Dick Reed worked his life to put out there. We need to rebalance the power dynamic in childbirth.